Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to Stonehearth and our Ascendancy playthrough. It is February 11th, and there's very little that happened on this day in gaming history that I'm aware of, unfortunately. So we're going to be going with one that's kind of making fun of someone rather than one that's actually like a cool thing that came out on this day in gaming history. Today, 7 years ago, in 2010, is the day that Microsoft held the X10 conference, or whatever the hell you want to call it, in San Francisco. Which is a little stupid, I think. I understand the Xbox is popular, but having a conference just for it, not so good, I feel. It was a little silly, especially when you consider some of the games that they had in the lineup, like... This is 2010, you gotta keep in mind. Perfect Dark. Okay. Like, fine. I get that that was a remaster, I think, but it's also a remaster. Like, why are you showing it off as like a major thing? They had Fable 3, which I think... I don't know, are people still into Fable? I played Fable 1 back in the day, but it's kind of like, okay, well, fine, it's acceptable, but a lot of these things are things that you can do in, like, a Bethesda title. These days, anyway. I don't know, maybe it was ahead of its time, but it has never seemed that good to me, to be completely honest. It was fine, but it wasn't... It was, like, talked up to be amazing. It's like, no, it's not amazing, it's just a game. It's a video game. It's an okay video game, but it's a video game. And you're not really doing anything that's actually impressive, I don't think. And then you can go down the whole, you know, the inevitable rabbit hole that is anything involving Peter Molyneux. And, you know, we can probably talk about that for hours, and I don't even know most of the shit he's pulled, so... Unfortunately, there's not really too much I can say, but, he was, a piece of work, let's say. Kind of Hello Games before Hello Games, if we want to go back into talking about No Man's Sky and all that shit show. Which, by the way, had an update. That was a while ago. I haven't even bothered looking at it. Kind of insulted that I still have that on my Steam library. Kind of wish I'd gotten a refund, but hey, you know, I did a YouTube series on it, and like 2 people watched it, so I guess I got my money's worth, apparently. Still pissed about that. Still think legal action could be totally viable or justifiable against Hello Games for the lies that they told. I don't know if I've talked about it in my Stonehearth series, but basically I'm of the opinion that that was deliberately misleading customers, which is something that should be a criminal offense. And it's unacceptable when it's on more serious products that aren't just entertainment, but it's still quite serious when it's entertainment. You should not be able to get away with misleading customers ever. And with the lies that were told, I don't care if you say, oh, well, in the development process, you know, things change, things happen. No, that's not an excuse. You need to publicize that if you got publicity out of saying that a certain feature was going to be in the game, and then you take it out, you need to publicly state very clearly, in no uncertain terms, that you took it out. You can't just pretend that, oh, sorry, we forgot to tell you guys, but yeah, we had to take that feature out. That's bullshit. That's not acceptable in any way. And if you do that, there should be legal action involved. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just mad, but it's bullshit. I don't accept that. It's not reasonable to do to anyone. Did we fuck up the line here? We totally did, didn't we? Look at that. But that's not a tile. That's off by... You're gonna be fine, don't worry about it. You're close to home, we got you. Alright, let's go kill this guy first. Comes the military. They're taking a very circuitous route to get to this guy, but I think we're good. Yeah, you can let them go now, I think. Just don't go that way. As long as you don't go that way, you're okay. no one wants to get her. You guys are all just gonna hang out here because you're afraid about this fight going on? I can understand that, I suppose. They'll get him eventually, it's no problem. But yeah, there were other games. Halo Reach was in there, so I understand that one. But it just seems like, you know, maybe don't be so up... Oh, and there was a Games for Windows Live thing too. That's another topic I want to talk about, because Games for Windows Live is shit now, but it was even worse in 2010. And looking back and like... For example, I've multiple times tried to go back and play Dark Souls. I have it on Steam. I think they took out Games for Windows Live on that recently, but it was on there for a very long time. And it basically meant that every time I tried to boot up the game, I had to log into like 3 different things and like reset passwords and shit, was because for some stupid bullshit that had nothing to do with the game. And it got to the point where I'm not going to try and play it. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play your game because you have this Games for Windows Live bullshit on it. And at this point, anything that I see is Games for Windows Live, there's like I have to be really, really interested in playing it to pick it up. And it's like the similar situation for Uplay, but even Uplay is like way the hell better. Origin is way the hell better. Games for Windows Live is fucking terrible, hands down. So, ultimately, I think, look, I want competition to exist and everything as much as the next guy. I know that breeds development, but fuck off. Like, if your game isn't just on Steam, I'll tolerate GOG. Even that I don't really like, but I respect it for the most part. Origin, for the most part, can fuck off. Titanfall 2 got me to pick it up. Uplay can mostly fuck off, but I got some free games on there, so I got those. Those are nice. Everything, I can't even remember what other ones there are, but they're just so bad. Just give me Steam, alright? Steam handles everything just fine. I don't want to fuck around with some other stupid service that doesn't even work well. I think we can make 20. Yeah, I'll just make 20. So yeah, and Games for Windows Live, I feel like, out of all those that I just mentioned, is easily the worst offender. Like, easily the worst one out there. So that... I really don't like that. And I think having a conference for it is kind of hilarious, because it's like, hey guys, come check out our shitty service and all the shitty things that it will do to your computer. So I'm glad. It looks like, based on the Wikipedia entry, they only had the one in the US. They've had other ones elsewhere, but just one in the US. Which is good, because it's pointless. Not only is it like presumptuous to say, oh, we've got so much stuff, it deserves its own event, meanwhile you got PAX, which is like a million fucking games. And they have their stupid little event. Here's a list. And this is what's on Wikipedia. There might be more, but this is the main list that I'm aware of. Halo Reach, okay, that's meaningful. Splinter Cell Conviction, probably meaningful. Fable 3, okay, fine. Final Fantasy 13, okay, but let's face it, you're not the PlayStation, so honestly, if you're playing a Final Fantasy title on a Microsoft console, you probably fucked up somewhere. That's not... maybe one day that won't be the case, but right now that's a little silly. Crackdown 2, I think that was a PC game as well, so no thank you. Alan Wake, I meant. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I think it was like a narrative-driven game. I think it might have also been on the PC. Lost Planet 2, pretty sure that was on PC. Could be mistaken. Block Party, Game Room, Perfect Dark, Scrap Metal, Toy Soldiers. All of those sound like the kind of, like, basically the free games that come preloaded on your phone or something. Like Solitaire or PC or whatever, like the pinball game in Windows. It's like, okay, that's great that it's there, but come on, no one's buying it for this. So basically, it looks like 3 or 4 real titles that you would actually want to play on an Xbox, and that's it. And no offense, but if you're doing a whole convention, basically, for that, you fucked up somewhere along the line. That's not what you should be doing. So, it just seems silly that Microsoft would do this, and like I said, it looks like they learned their lesson, since there haven't been any more, from what I can see, in the last 7 years. But it's just so bizarre. Like, just go to fucking E3. Just... I don't like that E3's in LA either. I'd prefer everything be in SF because SF is dramatically superior to LA in every way, including with sports teams. Fuck the Dodgers, fuck the Kings. But come on, like, you're not that important. I know you're Microsoft, but in the gaming world, no, you're not that special. You don't deserve to have your own fucking thing. The only ones that I'll, like, be totally on board with are, if you do an event, do it with, like, basically press only. And just have a little thing where you invite them out to your offices and let them play the games for a while. And I think Paradox does that, which is very cool. I think that's good. They flew a number of people. I know Arumba, Northern Lion, I think Cobalt, and maybe Stejo? I don't know. I think all those guys, maybe all those guys, at least NL and Arumba, got flown out to Iceland or whatever to play, I think Hearts of Iron 4, is it? And a few other games, maybe? Over in some Paradox thing, which is cool. I like Paradox a lot as a developer. They're pretty good. But to have something like this and make it be like, oh yeah, we're having our own thing, and like publicizing it is just stupid. It's very stupid. They're not that special. Even Microsoft is not that special. Sony, fuck off, same thing. Nintendo for sure. I'm glad Nintendo doesn't do its own. I know they do like Nintendo Live or whatever, and that's kind of okay. They're just putting out a video basically. Just like you got TGS, you've got PAX, like 20 different versions of PAX, and you've got E3. Just come on, you've got enough. Just do everything there and you're fine. There's no need to go crazy doing shit elsewhere. It's overkill, you know? No one cares that much about your specific product, especially when honestly, like, some of the best games around these days, if you're seriously into gaming, odds are, for your tastes, you're probably looking at 4 to 5 AAA games a year that are really what you're looking for. And like last year, I'd say for me is probably FF15, which was unexpected. I thought it'd be kind of bad, but the more I saw of it, I was like, oh, this is actually quite good. Though I did hate half the game, so maybe I should quiet down about that. Titanfall 2 is definitely up there. And that might be it. The problem is I have pretty bad memory going back all the way to the beginning of 2016, so I can't remember if there's something else there that I really liked, but I was pretty much just those two. Wasn't really into Fallout 4, which I think came out last year. Dishonored 2 doesn't do anything for me. And, like, I can't even remember anything else. There wasn't that much. Oh, right, XCOM 2 I didn't pick up, like I talked about in a previous episode. There just wasn't that much that I was into. It seemed unnecessary. Like, really just the two that I can remember. And then other than that, the only other games that I was really, like, pumped for and excited playing last year, it's all indie games. All I need is PAX. Maybe E3. They're probably not even going to get into E3. It'll just be PAX, I would imagine, for the most part. Just give me PAX. Give me the PAX info. I'll see the games there. Not that I've ever been, but like for a convention, I don't need this one-off bullshit. It's unnecessary. No one cares this much about your product. So I don't know. I'm glad they haven't done it, and yeah, I'm coming down much harder on them than I need to because it's Microsoft and because I'm like, come on, you haven't really done anything that interesting for anyone. You have Halo, and that wasn't even really you. That was the developers of Marathon, which Microsoft purchased. And those guys are... That's Bungie, obviously. My memory's not so good. At least I think it was a devs from Marathon. Fairly certain it was. Anyway, but they were... Halo was, I think, started out as a Mac game, didn't it? So I don't even want to give Microsoft credit for that. It's just a game that happens to be on their console. In the same way that I wouldn't credit Sony for Final Fantasy. Not that Final Fantasy is that great. And I don't think Halo's that great either. But I will take Halo any day over Call of Duty. I'll tell you that. Fucking hate Call of Duty. I was actually reading an article today that someone posted on Reddit. It was like from 2003 or something. But the Red Orchestra 2 devs, or Red Orchestra devs, same fucking people. Tripwire Interactive also made Killing Floor, which is a game that I really enjoy. Basically said something to the effect of Call of Duty has ruined fans of first-person. It's ruined first-person shooter players. And they made, like, a pretty compelling argument, and I can't really disagree. And I don't want to be that guy and be like, oh, Call of Duty is the worst game ever, it's so bad, just because it's popular, but it is kind of problematic. It's the same way I kind of felt about Halo players back in the day. It's like, oh, we're gamers, we play Halo, and nothing else. It's like, no, I mean, yeah, if you want to call yourself a gamer, that's your business, but you're using the word in a way that does not correspond to what I consider to be a gamer. You just play one game. Not only do you play one game, it's a shooter on a console, which is immediately heresy, as far as I'm concerned. And if you want to play a game like that, and go play, let's see, what do we got? We got Quake, we got Unreal, we got Counter-Strike, even, like, I enjoyed Day of Defeat, personally. You got Natural Selection, getting a little bit deeper here. But the point is, you've got so many, like, quality first-person shooters, or whatever variety of that you're looking for on other games. Like, you play Tribes. Tribes 2 was great, in my opinion. I don't think that many people played it, but Tribes Ascend maybe less so. But anyway, they were cool games, and, you know, played properly with a mouse and keyboard on PC instead of with a fucking analog stick trying to aim, which is still the stupidest thing in the world as far as I'm concerned. Of course, having said all this, we had an episode recently talking about Time Splitters and how that was one of my favorite games on console, which is a shooter on console, but it was an arcadey shooter. It wasn't like a proper first-person shooter, in my opinion. Which is fine. Arcadey shooters are fine. I just don't see them as the defining type of FPS, basically. And I feel like at this point, unfortunately, Call of Duty and what was it, Halo are the kind of defining first-person shooter experiences, and I don't like that. And it's sort of expanding gaming to a larger demographic at the cost of doing it with people who are not actually playing the same games that the gamers that were here before were playing. And I'm trying not to say, oh, well, you're not a real gamer if you play Halo. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, we're saying, hey, these games have expanded gaming to reach a much larger audience, and a differing audience that is interested in different things. And you can say, hey, we're all gamers, but at the same time, it's not that we're not all gamers, it's that certain gamers are different. And what I mean by that is when you say that they're a gamer, you're saying they're not, or you're saying that they're something other than what you'd typically expect from a PC gamer, I guess. It's not the same experience. And that's kind of the gist of what the article was talking about, because the whole point of a game like Call of Duty, and I'm not totally lumping Halo in with this, because Call of Duty is a far, if Halo even is an offender of this, Call of Duty is much worse. But basically they were saying the whole point of Call of Duty is that you don't need to actually be good at anything to succeed, to get that endorphin payout of getting kills. And that's not me being like, oh, Call of Duty players are stupid and bad. No, it's just the game is designed to randomize things to the point where anyone can experience success, which is important from a development standpoint because you want them to be able to enjoy the game. That's the whole point of playing, is the enjoyment of playing it. So they deliberately set it up mechanics-wise so that they can win or get kills without actually being good at the game, which is important. We got a new person, that's surprising. So yeah, it's fine in a vacuum, but when you consider that means now they expect everything to be that easy, because we're talking about it bringing new players into gaming, and these are people who don't play other games. They don't understand that not everything is that easy, and it's not that they're pro, it's just that they're playing a game that's piss easy to play. And it puts other developers in a situation where if their game is not that easy, now you have to kind of explain and coddle those gamers, otherwise they're just not going to play your game. Which is probably the more likely outcome there, is they're just not going to play it. And basically he was complaining that when he was playtesting with Call of Duty players, they'd say, something's wrong with your game, it's too hard. Like, I'm playing well, but I'm not getting rewarded for it. But then they're not playing well, they're just playing the way they play Call of Duty, and that's actually not very good, so... yeah, anyway. It's just... he was saying that Call of Duty ruined first-person shooter fans, and I kind of understand that sentiment. I don't necessarily 100% agree with it, but I kind of do, because I don't like that game at all, but try not to be too biased. I get where the guy was coming from, though. So, anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you didn't get too pissed off at me for ripping into Call of Duty and Halo, though I assure you much more Call of Duty than Halo. Halo's mostly fine. I think, anyway. I've never played it very much. Played it a little bit, but not too much. Seems like a basic FPS for the most part. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join us for the next one as well. Take care.